try again. I'm Charlie McMeekin. I'm a third-year teacher in public schools and in my 5th year as a teacher at the Sharon Academy, an independent school. As a teacher, I work hard with my kids to try to teach them to support their statements with facts and their opinions with thinking. I'm going to try to model that behavior for them tonight and hope these two committees are doing the same thing. All I'm asking for is evidence that bigger schools or bigger school districts are better for children, or that they are cheaper. Either argument. Does research indicate that the current big schools in Vermont have better test scores than small schools? Or is it cheaper to educate students in Burlington than it is elsewhere? My evidence for small schools begins with Ted Sizer, who founded the Coalition of Essential Schools out of the belief that less is more, and that smallness matters. And I would encourage you to take a look at his books, The Horace Compromise and Horace's Dilemma. My thinking continues with Bill and Melinda Gates, whose philanthropic giving in education has been focused on helping schools think smaller, to recover a sense of community that's vital for our young people. And finally, my heart questions the concept of bigger. If I've observed anything from the current economy, it's that bigness has failed us. Fletcher Allen, AIG, Goldman Sachs, General Motors, where's the advantage? Too big to fail has become a euphemism for being able to force government financial support of the big. We do not need or want that as Vermonters. The Sharon Academy manages to provide an education to its students for the state average tuition, and yet wording in the proposed legislation could endanger our future. We are training thinkers and students who are committed to learning. The fact that some have joined us today, as you'll learn, is testimony of its own to their beliefs. Your need to balance the state budget is real, and I sympathize with you. Your choices are difficult. I simply urge you to use Vermont's famous prudence as you make decisions which involve the lives of everyone.
My name is Deborah Aldrich. My husband and I relocated our family and our small businesses to Stockbridge so that our daughter could attend the Sharon Academy. Putting it another way, we moved ourselves and our businesses to rural Vermont because we were attracted by the current tuitioning policy. If the state of Vermont wants to attract families and businesses, we should leave the current tuitioning policy alone. Tuitioning makes it possible for public money and private money to work together in schools like the Sharon Academy, which has a 98% graduation rate and a lower public cost per student than many of the public schools. If the state wants to continue to benefit from private investment in education, we should leave the current tuitioning map alone. State law guarantees parents in the approximately 80 tuition towns the right to choose a public school or an independent school without regard to geographic boundaries. If the number of towns with this right is reduced, the survival of the independent schools will be at risk. The current tuitioning policy is one of the most attractive things about rural Vermont. In the interest of attracting young families and private investment, the state should leave the tuitioning policy and the tuitioning map alone. Thank you.
My name is Angelique Lee. My family resides in the small rural community of Pittsfield, where we have no schools, and all of our town's 66 school-aged children are tuitioned to schools of their choice. My family specifically chose to send our children to the Sharon Academy, which, as you know, is a small independent school, because the small size, rigorous curriculum, and supportive learning environment was the best fit for our children, and they are thriving. My neighbors specifically choose to send their special needs son to the Rochester School, where they have found the support system exceeds that of his previous public school, and he is thriving. Other neighbors choose to send their children to the Barstow School in Chittenden, because the school's proximity to their jobs will allow them more involvement in school activities, and they are thriving. I could go on, but you get the idea. Schools are not one size fits all. Our town's children attend over 9 different schools, stretching from Middlebury to Rochester to Woodstock and Sharon to club. As parents, we all share two things in common. We are extremely happy with our children's education and confident that we have made choices in their best interests. While small independent schools are not the right choice for everyone, it is important that they are not overlooked. In addition to their innovation without heavy bureaucratic structure, their very existence relies upon their desire and ability to facilitate excellent outcomes for their students. Amazingly, this is delivered at the state average cost of pupil without adding to the overburdened teacher pension system or saddling taxpayers with the cost of facility development and maintenance. School choice without geographic boundaries that includes access to independent schools is one of Vermont's educational success stories for students and taxpayers. I urge you to leave our state's current tuition policies intact.
My name is Rajona Dion. I'm 15 years old, and I'm here as a freshman representing the Sharon Academy. I believe independent schooling is a cost-effective way to educate students. It allows students to have and say where they want to be educated. Being a student who is able to choose where I'm educated gives me a sense of power and independence. I am proud to be enrolled in a school of my choosing, which affects how I do in my schoolwork performance, because I am comfortable and confident in this environment. The courses at the Sharon Academy are set up so that each student learns how to feel comfortable speaking publicly, excel in their researching abilities, and strive to become uniquely individual. Please continue the expansion of school choice in Vermont and allow other students to enjoy a successful educational experience. Thank you.
I'm Joyce Dion. I have been living in Sharon, Vermont for 26 years. My two children have attended TSA. You just heard my daughter. My son graduated in 2005. And if it wasn't for TSA, I don't think he would have graduated from any high school. What we have seen with TSA in an independent school is that they've been able to create an atmosphere conducive to learning and supportive of the individual student. As a social worker, I value TSA's core values, their commitment to their students, and their ability to make a place for every student. And I believe that is the reason why my son graduated. If the school choice options that are in consideration now in the school consolidation bill, S.252, were to be adopted, much of what TSA is could be changed and destroyed. I am here to support school choice as it is currently written. Current school choice is derived from local control. In our most recent Sharon Town meeting, person after person, parent after parent rose in support of school choice. It was not all because they were in favor of school choice and their children went to Sharon Academy. It was because, for various reasons, they have benefited and their children have benefited from school choice. My own town of Sharon plans a deliberative, thorough process to review school choice and what will be happening there with the proposed changes. I hope that you all do the same. A few short facts. The Sharon Academy attracts students from as far away as Brookfield, Corinth, Williamstown, Pittsfield, and East Granville. TSA draws students from a radius of about 40 miles.